Either.
Great, cool. So we'll over to the attendees. I put forward a number of chair's recommendations as well. So just so people are aware, I've pre-circulated those ahead of the meeting. I appreciate maybe not everyone's had a chance to look at those. They have been given to staff as well, as the staff are aware. Let's just go around now and get a list of questions or ones that people wish to flag. I think maybe what we'll do to start with is just do the ones for questions. Is that cool? So, no. Oh, okay. Hey, Ryan.
What number is it?
Oh, sorry,
263 or 139?
Just gonna get through a spreadsheet.
139,
139.
The matrix. There's over 200.
Okay. Yep.
Actually, sorry, so I do want one. I'm 127. The disarmament and security centre.
Yep. I know Jack's raised one, which I'll just call out now because it's 126. It's right next to that one. So I'll just mark that one in your thing, which is the Delta Community Support Trust.
Are you proposing an increase?
Oh,
I think we're just on
that change. Yeah, that'll. Right, thanks. Cool. Sarah?
I know Victoria's went through and then Celeste has been following up, but neither of them are here for the stocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's been flagged on my list as well.
Yeah,
So-
that's great. You know, that it's
Six
all
months.
good.
Yeah, sorry, what number is that?
Yanni's already played.
I've used the page numbers. Sorry,
I'll stick to the laboratory.
sticks.
This one again.
Yes, that's good. Being
So I have page 84 on my matrix, but. Oh, okay, Alan.
Okay. I'll start with 26. Just an update on SEWN, Weekly and Wellbeing Network. That's the Incommon one. The Christchurch Youth Council, Danielle, that popped up. The portfolio one. Inside Out, forward one.
Sorry, I'm not picking up with another, sorry.
The numbers.
We'll give you the numbers.
Numbers.
Number 19, number 39, number 22 and 25, number 51, and I promise I'll be fast. It's not anything too big.
You got more?
Yes. Tangata Moana Trust, which is 86. 87, Te Tahi Youth. Well, I should have just had one portfolio. And the Christchurch Multicultural Recreation and Community Centre, number 123. That was already raised the disarmament interest. And upstream, and I think Mark's going to want to ask some questions about that too. What is that?
Yeah, right. So one is the upstream 174.
Okay,
Right.
okay, Kelly?
Yeah, Delta, but that's already been raised. But also, Seabrook, McKinsey. The last,
What number is that?
number, please. It is. 63. Sorry, can't read it. One plus that. Thank you.
Number 22. Just a question on 1819, are they the same organisation? No, they're not. Okay, that's,
Umbrella ring.
okay, cool. So I'll ask questions about that. 24, age concern. And I asked the question earlier on before the meeting about 277 about dyslexia, but we've covered that with Neil. I thought we did anyway, but so thank Gary for that. And but still 169 dyslexia, so 169. Yep, so that's it for me. Thanks.
No.
Okay, cool. I'll just read out the ones that I've got. Some of those are already been read. So I had 4. What's the Christchurch Resettlement Services? Sorry, number 1 as well. I think Aviva. That's just a question. Number 16 is a question. That's the Atatahi Women's Refuge. 19, 22. I think they've already been raised. 23. With Checkmate. 25 is ARCO, which has been raised. 39 is Youth Council, which has been raised. 41 is Curtin Bank. 62 is SPACPAC. 54 is a Cane Fay New Zealand. 84 is the Fixed Living Laboratory that's been raised. 86 Tangata Moana Trust that's been raised. And 87 DKA Youth has been raised as well. The ones from me.
Wow, Leonie.
62 and 64. So some of those have questions and some of those have amendments. Okay. So should we turn to the number 1? No, start at number 1. So just it just says in here that there's unforeseen challenges such as loss of a government. I was just wondering if we have been given why they lost the government contract. Again, this may be something we would do add to our list.
Hello everyone, Ross Proston. There was no particular reason Aviva lost that contract. They still are getting just over $4 million in government contracts. It's just indicative across the board that a lot of contracts are going. I've tried to get hold of the team today at Aviva to see if there was a specific reason. They didn't have any conversations. It just seemed that they just said we lost a contract. There wasn't a specific reason. Yeah.
So I'm happy with the quantum of funding, just so people are aware. It's just more just to understand. So, next, yeah, so that was me. So I'd proposed reduction to 25,000. So this is the Christchurch Resettlement Services.
0.
4. That's the
So it's
Christchurch Resettlement Service.
You're proposing a cut.
No, sorry. This is a new project. They previously last year got $20,000 from council.
Yep.
The staff recommendation is 50,000. I'm recommending an increase of 25k, not 50k.
He's talking net, so he wants
Yeah.
to reduce the staff rate by 20.
So
But it's not a
it's
cut.
to say it's a cut is misleading. This is
Put it in
yeah,
terms of
yeah.
the staff recommendation,
So-
reduce or increase.
Yeah.
We'll
Yep,
keep
yeah,
it clear.
That's better.
So you-
It's a new project though, so.
yeah, I do.
The cut stuff goes from debate, okay?
Yeah, it's not.
I understand what you're saying, yeah.
Anyway, so and again, like so I mean, my question was, we've got another number of other youth things in here, like ones that we might wish to fund, like the youth health centre, for example.
Yeah, but you're in debate, but
So-
the question is.
No,
for
for the
staff,
yeah,
about
so I was just going
25.
to start the context of the question. So
Sorry.
So, yeah, I-
Sorry, Mum.
I was interested in why it was such a big increase. Sorry, I was
It's better to
interested in
increase
why the
one.
recommendation was such a significant amount in comparison to other ones in a similar space, which were much less. Cool.
So there's some history with the organisation. So the organisation missed the timing last year, so it came back to DRF. So the DRF was for 20,000, but normally it is a lot higher. But it was one of those consequences of missing SCF timing for last year's financial year, and all we could afford was DRF. Ideally, we would have given this group the same sort of figure last year. They just weren't in the SCF pool because they missed the timing. So it's it's an unfortunate timing for them. Viviana will talk to the project though.
So there is a recommendation includes a really big increase in funding because we acknowledge the huge gap in a youth program for children with refugee background. It's not just the organization stating that. We had a meeting with the Youth Hub, and they acknowledge that nobody is reaching the young people from a refugee background. The project will, the idea is to help the organization start with a specific youth worker for a refugee background that will sit at the Christchurch Residential Service office for 2 days per week and 2 days at the Youth Hub to integrate the youth with the mainstream services. And in the meantime, I will be helping them finding new stream of funding because we acknowledge that it's not so long-term sustainable, this kind of support.
You would say this is one of the top priorities.
It's my dying the deed.
So, no, I mean, just flagging based on what we've heard, I'm happy to withdraw my amendment.
Good on you, mate.
So, but
No, carry on.
no, that's cool.
No.
Okay.
Just with this, could we get a good understanding of the government's wrap around with regards to this type of thing? Because I'd hate to think that this is going to be another one of those things that they drop and then they turn around and put a rates cap on and they see that this isn't essential.
My understanding is that there used to be a youth worker for the refugee, for young people with a refugee background, but it was something like 10 years ago. It was co-funded with Onanga Tamariki, but also other charitable trusts. And that was, the contract ended, but it was really long time ago, so not recent. The idea is to explore other venues for funding now.
So I guess Gary and Andrew, that's one of those things that when we're looking and there's a possible rates cap, that's one of those things for that cap. Thank you.
And it might be useful to get some information about what Pura Whetu do as well in terms of youth, if they have any specific youth programs.
Yeah.
Oh, you should have.
16.
Abstain. Whose is this from? Yours, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, cool. The thing that struck me on this one was the amount requested and the total cost and no other sources of funding. So that struck me as a little bit unusual. So just trying to understand if we give the 20, how certain we are the project will go ahead and what the other source of funding will be.
So I sit here not as Tara, but Tara's not here, unfortunately, but she assessed this. All of the applicants have been asked that question: if the funding is at this level, will you be able to deliver? They're saying they will be able to deliver. It'll obviously be at a cut down ability to deliver the service, but they are chasing other funders quite hard. So at the moment, the 20,000 is what they're recommending on the basis that it'll build up. But that's what they would come to us for.
Right. And is this retaining something that was previously funded by government?
Hard to tell. Where it's a sort of a new relationship with council, and I think Tara's done an exceptional job with the Māori organisations, and you'll see the number has increased here. These are just relationships that we are slowly developing. I don't know about the government funding, but we can tag that in the list. And have
I think that'd be good. Just the project description, it says it's to retain the vital role, so it indicates that there's been some loss of funding somewhere. Okay, thanks. Next one.
Rose, oh, sorry, you mentioned that 18 and 19 are the basically the one's an umbrella.
So the one that you're interested in is sown as umbrella and project, which is what Viviana sown. Sown.
Okay, 19, I just flagged this for a 5K increase. I mean, from my experience with the shared Kai stuff that they're doing, this is an incredible organization doing really amazing work. And I don't, yeah, I'm just interested if you think it's worth giving it a bit of additional funding towards.
I agree. It's priority one. It's an amazing organization, especially because it's the only one working in the trying to make systemic changes and inclusion a really broad way. Yeah, definitely. Funding constraints.
So we'll just note that that's the price.
In common.
In common.
19.
It's, yeah, 19. So it's
Is
an
it?
increase from 20K.
Do you want seconders as we go?
It's probably helpful.
I'm happy to second that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Next. 24. 23. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's me.
But you take the lead.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, so, hey Danielle.
Yeah.
I've got a question. There's 22.
So the page 21.
So we have two organizations going for the same pot of money. The Kind Foundation is priority 1, yet Ako Otatahi is priority 2, yet Ako is getting $5,000 more. I'm wondering what the reasoning what the reasoning was for the Kind Foundation getting 15. Because I think it's if we're looking at Ako Otatahi.
Yeah, I personally didn't assess Ako, so I can't.
Got you, that's probably why. Okay.
Comparison. I think it was just, looking at the fact that the Kind Foundation, if they need to, they do have some reserves that they can pull on. So that's why I recommended that $15,000.
Okay, so they're pretty safe financially.
They're feeling the most pressure on their youth programs, and that's why they've specifically cut.
Okay. I hate doing this, but I'm wanting to potentially take 5 from Ako and add 5 to the Kind Foundation. Just based on the priority list.
So, I mean, I had a question on this one as well. So should we go through questions and then we'll come back to get those?
It's an amendment,
Yeah, it is.
Sorry, no, that's.
and it's a neutral cost. So
On
it's
unison from across the phone.
Yeah,
I'm a bipartisan kind of guy.
yeah. I also had an amendment to reduce ARCO to 10 as well. But I just want to check on this one. In terms of the Kind Foundation, like they got significant government funding to build social enterprise. Just wondering what their bank accounts look like in terms of their resources, like.
So when staff spoke with the group, they are feeling the pressure, regardless of the fact they are quite asset rich. But due to things like COVID, and which stopped a lot of their revenue streams for a while, they still have a lot of debt repayment to do, especially since their capital rebuild of that building. And they are at the moment producing a cash deficit in their operations because of those high overheads, things like insurance. And
So do we know how much like sort of operating reserves they have or cash in the bank?
so their accumulated equity is just over 29 million. But in the last financial year, they lost, or they had a deficit of 1.7 million.
So Yoni, considering there's already an amendment to reduce alcohol, would you be? That make it easier because those two are just cost neutral,
A lot easier and quicker.
Yeah,
reduced by 5 instead of 10.
it's neutral.
Yeah, well, because I've reduced that one to fund it's like youth health as well. So, yeah. So if you want to do an amendment to increase this one, do that, and then we can.
Increase
deal with
22.
If that's the no.
Well, I did
19.
move both. I moved.
Sorry, 22. Yeah.
I did move that we add 5 from the Kind Foundation and reduce 5 from Ako. And whatever you put up, then the committee,
I'll second.
So we'll flag that as an amendment. Yep.
You follow
Cool.
and then you can add
So
10, you can make 10. as a cut.
just explain.
So if you still want to reduce our code by 10 instead of 5, instead of.
Want to talk about 23?
Sure.
That's right.
Oh, I've already flagged 23, so we'll move on to 23. Staff will
No.
get just the amendment. They'll sort it. We'll come back to the amendments. You don't need to worry. We've got an understanding of what people want to do.
Yeah, but then they won't go to keep.
Specifically. Yeah, it's not too simple.
So Charlie, I'll see your name on it and go, oh, he held it all up.
No,
Second, it doesn't get blamed.
can you Get a second for your foreshadowed reduction.
The sheriff, not the deputy.
So, sorry, so for 23, this is TechMate. So I've raised a concern and a possible increase. So I just wanted to check in with staff why the reduction from last year.
Are they going to get the Rada Foundation funding? Because if they don't, then they may as well close.
Yeah, and so for me, like when we compare to the previous one, we're great, you know, I know that they're running in a deficit, but they've got significant cash reserves or equity. This group, you know, is, I don't know what their financial status is, but I think they run on the smell of an oily rag. And actually, like, I was really surprised. I went to the Linwood Library and the Skinny Jump, which is, you know, low broadband for people that, you know, need it, because we've now stopped doing that at the library. The feedback I've had from TechMate is they do an incredibly important job to help break down that digital divide. And so I would just see this as being a really top priority, especially when council is now expecting people to use computers to do everything. So the question really is, why has this not got a recommendation to a similar level of funding as the previous year?
Just let them answer.
Yeah, so.
So again, this was one that Tara assessed. I would say, in all honesty, it was because we had a budget to fit, and we went through, and I know it's going to sound boring, but it's actually the answer for a lot of this.
Yeah,
we're just trying to fit the budget. So
why that much of a reduction? Like that's over 50% under. Is it because there's an expectation that Rada funding will come through?
well, so yeah, can we come back to that, and I'll
yeah. So I mean, ultimately, regardless, like, and you know, I guess for me, it just.
Agree. Just say the number.
Well, I guess the question for a start, I don't know if you can look at their financials as well, just to see how they're operating.
I'll do 30. You can bid for 40 and we have an auction.
We're not going to be done by 100%.
No.
So
Yeah.
what are we on?
Are we going just to stop?
All right, we'll flag an amendment.
33.
Yeah, just make it snappy.
23
And don't
up to
talk.
30. Yep,
Who's moving
Mel moved, I've seconded.
it? 30K extra.
TechMate, yeah. And I also thought we could get CCHL to ask Enable to sponsor as well if they don't already.
Great idea.
Okay, next one. Age concern, who raised this one?
Oh, I've got a question too. Yeah, you go on.
I'll go first. Hang on.
Yeah, elders first. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
concerned there.
Seeing it's closer to my demographic.
It's twice your age.
Thanks for that. Yeah, I'm feeling the love.
Don't mind.
We've got a lot of applications for youth, etc., which is absolutely fantastic. But with an aging, a growing age, a lot of old people hanging around.
We consider that too.
Why are they keeping up with the time? Because we are going to enter a situation where you have a whole lot of really, we are falling behind in what.
Who's come to pay for it?
So I'm just wondering, what are your thoughts on the amount that you've got here? Jesus. And don't worry, they won't remember that.
Oh, man.
There's been a lot of actions from the aged community sector. This is one of the few that I received. The amount that's in front of you is less than what was recommended before we went to staff collab. Age Concern are doing amazing work and have got an amazing spread across the city. And it's safe to say that I think there are rumblings when I talk to the different groups that are in this sector that they would like to come and speak to council and ask for more support in any type of way that they can. And this is just another avenue for that.
Many different groups. Would Age Concern be the prime group to fund to assist other age groups? Because we've got a whole lot of people coming to us, but it would be really a lot easier for you guys as well as us if you had one group kind of covering more, if you know what I mean. Sorry.
I think so. I mean, I can only assess what's in front of me in this context, but yeah, I mean, I think Age Concern do a really good job at covering a lot of the community. They're also making inroads into Pākehā, so older Māori and also older Tangata Moana communities. And yeah, so I mean, this is the only one that was in front of me that I could assess, but they are one of the big players, you could say.
So do you think the amount that's here that's recommended fitting everything all needs is I mean, everyone can do with more. I guess I'm just saying that with what they put in front of you
Can I? Out of all of my applications that I've assessed, I've asked each one whether they would be able to continue if they were partially funded or not funded at all. Age Concern is the only one that really had a comment about it would be difficult at this amount for them to continue what they're doing.
So if I put in, because
Amendment?
I'd put amendment to add 10K.
It's almost a conflict.
I saw that coming. Come on.
Second.
I'll just get the guide dog in my Zimmer front.
It'll keep Christchurch.
Yeah, that'll keep.
Yeah, time will catch up with you.
Yeah, it's screaming towards you, mate.
In terms of their financials, like how well are
Yeah, I mean, they're maintaining. It's tough, you know, like all of our. Still able to expand what we do. So yeah, I think it's tough for everyone.
they've got a trust that like they sold their property, so they presume they've got to fund the trust that then funds their activities.
That's right. Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah, I'm seconding it.
second. So I was just trying to understand the concern that they couldn't continue to operate if they would struggle to operate if we didn't give them the additional.
Sure, yeah. So in terms of this application, we're talking about social excursions, things that happen outside in the van load of old people, of aged people to go around the community. But yeah, I'm sure they have earmarked funding for different initiatives.
Sorry to cut you off, but we've got a seconder. We need to keep moving on.
So
He was asking.
Yeah.
In other words, they won't be able to deliver all of their programs, but they'll survive as a.
Does that to cut their cloth?
yeah.
Nice. Okay, next. 59, wasn't
Yeah,
You, Tyler?
it is, yeah. Kia ora. Just wondering if you can give the council just a quick update on the youth council, noting Yanni's probably going to raise there's a cut, so.
So, the Christchurch Youth Council, that's a ongoing relationship that we're trying to strengthen continuously, and there has been, lulls and ups and continuing to work on and are dedicated to work on. The reduce for funding, I guess the primary reason for a lot of our funding cuts is because of the demand on the fund, but also considering that this year we also have UN Youth Aotearoa that have come into the fund for the first time that similarly have a focus on civics. So to be able, when staff were having the conversations, to be able to fund that group who we see to be doing great work, that meant for a slightly further cut for the Youth Council.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I wrote this as well. Do we have an refreshed MOU with them yet?
No, we do not.
When is that due to come back to us?
So that process hasn't begun. We thought it would be something that would be best to bring in for next year after the elections rather than trying to fit it in this side of Christmas.
So if we were of a mind to give the 30K like we did last year, staff wouldn't necessarily have a problem with that. It's just the funding.
Wouldn't have a problem with that. Would hope that the Youth Council were a little bit more responsive for staff going forward, and that we can see some of the agreed projects come to fruition. But yeah, no problem with that as long as we continue that reciprocal relationship.
So I'll move. So people are aware. Oh, there's a seconder? Okay.
I'll second, sorry.
So we'll just get that. Okay, next.
Just noting, I didn't second it because we have Tangata Moana Trust and Te Tahi Youth Board. And then there's other youth organisations which need some funding. Hence why I didn't raise the Youth Council, just to make it clear.
Community Action, Energy Action Trust. I just had a question whether or not, again, Orion was sponsoring or funding the organisation. I don't know for today, but I just.
Or even via CCHL's environment.
Actually do an answer, yes, but it's minimal.
So.
Yes, but minimal. Yes, but minimal.
I mean, I just think I just wondered if we could approach Orion too.
Yeah, I think after the election, it would be good for councillors who are still here and the new ones to maybe get around, discuss how we want to, as an organised approach to CCHL and our family companies rather than kind of bits and pieces, because we're not achieving anyone for anything, and it would be really good. And I think it would be good for them as well to know.
Yeah,
We're doubling up on the admin if we're both
and
funding.
I've previously asked CCHL if they have a sponsorship policy across the companies, and that just haven't made a focus on it.
Okay.
But
I think for us to drive as a new council, and I say us, hopefully. Might be right.
I was just concerned that this is going to support some of the most vulnerable in our city and keep them warm. And I know through them as well, where we've actually tried to put some funding towards supporting these initiatives as well. So cool. Okay, next.
So that stays as is?
Yeah.
No, probably not.
Yeah, so I raised one inside out.
55.
One.
Oh, and 51.
Yeah, I raised 51. I just wanted to know a little bit more about them.
Sure. Inside Out are a national organisation that work with Rainbow Youth, typically going out to where they are. So they do a lot of work in schools and community settings, but they also have a Canterbury branch that does a lot of work in our school system, but also in some of the other community spaces that we have. A small team. They're present at all of the Rainbow activities and meetings that I go to in the sector. If there's anything else?
The other funding.
Yeah,
Reporting is quite good, isn't it?
I'm just looking at the other priority twos, and these guys have got 75% of your application, when others who do quite significant work are getting probably less around that same scope. And do they work with any other youth organisations within the sector too?
Yeah, so they're doing those two some work with one of our Tikwa and Futopia. So
okay.
other
So they're a bit of a network with, they're actually in collaboration with
Yeah,
one of
yeah.
our. Yeah, my only worry is the sort of these priority twos are getting quite a significant amount when there's some priority ones, which could actually do us a bit more. I'm just trying to. Yeah. That's cool. I'll take it.
The which party? So, no.
Moving on.
I was waiting for everyone to look at me, wasn't me.
62 was the next one.
Oh, cool, okay. So we had an annual plan resolution to get a report back after September. So I just wanted to check on where that's at. Because obviously this is a lot less than what some of us want to do through the annual plan. So I just want to make sure that we're not jeopardizing that report back around the quantum of funding. Personally, I'm very supportive of us doing a lot more in this space. I mean, all the indicators in my view show that this is a community that could use more support. So, yeah.
So there has been a memo drafted to come to elected members around that. It's just in the approval chain at the moment and should get to you soon, but that doesn't have any funding attached to it, as I'm aware. I think many can agree that SPAC is a great organisation that have a proven history to deliver on their projects. And the reason that we could only give a smaller amount was again demand on the fund, and also an acknowledgement that there's already $35,000 committed to Canterbury Fest next year through the City Identity Fund.
So the request from annual plan was for a report around funding options.
John can give a bit of an update if I can bring them to the desk. Sorry.
A report back to councillors is just going through the approval process at the moment. The conclusion of the report back is twofold. The staff believe that the current levels of funding for SPAC Pack are insufficient to support them as an organisation through the 2025-26 year and beyond. The council alone cannot meet this need. We estimate a total of $50,000 approximately is needed. The current staff recommendation is for $15,000. Where Appleby Phillips in the multicultural budget has up to $10,000 previously set aside by council through the Community Partnerships Fund to support SPAC Pack if needed. That's in our operational funding. The balance for the $25,000 we would work with other funders to try and secure, because staff don't believe it is the sole responsibility of council. If the worst case situation happened and that funding wasn't available, there is the opportunity to apply to the discretionary response fund. Secondly, the funding for Polyfest. Danielle has indicated that there is council funding for Polyfest, but it is insufficient to run the event at its current level. There are a number of other funders in the mix who are committing funding as we speak. A number of funders have been identified. A number have not yet committed. After discussing this with the events team, it's probably too early for the council to make another call on whether it should provide additional funding for Polyfest. That's a broad brush conclusion.
So is the option of funding from the endowments coming in considered, like we've done with Watch This Space, where we could?
Yes. The in regard to Invest, that is amongst one of the options that would be looked at if other funders don't come to the party. They have come to the party in the past, and there are a number who haven't yet. So we are advised to wait a little longer, see how the funding lines up, encourage participation by others before we approach the council either through the capital endowment fund or other areas.
It's back up.
It can be covered, but it's too early to.
Sorry, I'm just gonna point out, you've got 11 more to get through. It's
Yeah.
taking 3 minutes per item. And
I think that's,
It's just. Well, I'm comfortable with the stuff.
is there-
well, it's hard because we don't have the report back to council yet, and part of that will be that funding. So I just want to get, I'm concerned if we make a funding call today, that we remove the options that we've got when that report comes to council, that's all.
I think.
Can I move that we ask the questions for clarity within to take away and then postpone this meeting until set date? I get the questions that are needed out of the way so that they can come ready for it, the next one.
It would be fair to say that any decision you make today will have no restriction on anything you want to do in that report.
Just sit there, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm comfortable.
It would still have every other option available.
I thought if we fund a group through this, then they restricted what they can come back to us for funding from.
Yeah, but what they specifically asked for, if they came back for the same thing, but there's enough room in this for us to fund them on other things.
Staff advice is that.
Get on with it, is the advice.
Come back. Yes.
It's all fine, yeah.
I'll just disagree that the 7 flagship events that they do is actually very important, and the quantum of funding that we're recommending is way insignificant and needs to be bumped up considerably.
Okay, why don't we put a noting
Yeah.
report in the final resolution?
Okay.
People, staff could draft something. up with people.
Yeah.
Next one is a Cairns Bay.
64. So I was just happy to withdraw that and then pull up pot. My understanding is that they do need additional support, so I just want to check with staff, you know, how valuable it is to give them the increase in terms of what they need to do.
So my understanding from Tara is she spent quite a lot of time with them. This is a figure that hopefully we won't lose. This is important for them to be able to deliver 12 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, next, fixed living laboratory track.
I think we will just move an amendment on that one.
Yep.
15.
6. We'll just say 16.
Yes.
The 16, we'll just move it to 16. Both Celeste and Sarah indicating support, and Kelly is indicating support.
We have a mover.
Yeah.
I'll second.
Just give a little bit of information on that. That normally has been funded by the boards. So this is an extra fund to Metro, hence the number was lower, but you are welcome to do what you wish.
Thanks.
Okay.
We have a few of those.
That's an additional 5,000.
6,000. 6, yeah. Okay, next.
86, Takata Minor Trust.
Yeah, I wanted to just see an increase of 5K or 5K. I think this is phenomenal work.
Yeah, I'll second that. So that's an amendment there. Yeah.
I'll make it quick. 87, is that you? Yeah, another one, 5K.
What was
So that was number 86.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to make, to keep the youth council at 20. Yeah, I'll move that.
Yeah. Yeah, I had an amendment to give them an additional 10, to take it up to 20.
I'm just trying to figure out where we're going to get the money from as well.
So what are you moving, Tyler? How much?
5.
And was that for 86 as well?
And I guess the question I had is like,
Yeah,
why
both.
isn't this a priority one? Like, it just seems to me like.
I was wondering the same,
a really
yeah.
important need. And although I know in the recent funding history, we haven't funded it, I think we have in the council funded it years ago previously. So like this to me would be one of the places in the city around New Zealand.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. They do great work. I want to. I think when we talked to staff, we were just looking at quite a lot of their services are directly by Cisco and they have contracts for that. But there still are definitely parts within the Tahi youth that align with the council and fit within our lane and in staff's eyes. So that's why we still moving forward, but not as a priority.
Yeah. There's so many priority twos that are getting a larger scope than the priority ones. Like some of them are above 75%.
So just to be clear, the percentages are confusing. The group who has come to you before will say they want this figure because that's realistic. And others will ask for the stars and their percentage is a lot lower. So it has been done on need as much as possible, but I take your point. That's some of them.
Yeah. Thank you. I just thought everyone didn't know this. They obviously don't.
Keep moving, skipping along. Next, 123, the Christchurch multicultural community center. Therapy and trust.
Oh. This is the multicultural community centre.
Just
let's go forward to it. So they've been recommended for no funding, is that correct? And then for salaries, wages, voluntary. In terms of their alignment, particularly seeing as they manage one of the most important buildings in the city, what are the alternative options for them in regards to funding and growth?
Getting their funding from venue hire. So when we looked at this financially, they don't need funding each year. They're going to break even or make a profit. So even though we funded, council's funding quite a bit, supporting that building this year with the demand, they didn't need it as much as others. That's really the reason. That they're very confident in the money.
Is there a reserve for them at all?
So they have a reserve at the moment. They are as Rose said, what they're making each month is well above what we ever dreamed that they would have done.
That's great to hear.
Oh, no, it's awesome.
It's really
And also they're attracting other funders.
Okay.
So it's becoming one of those things, when we looked at it, they could survive.
Right, okay.
The community support trust.
Yeah.
You wanna?
Anyone wanna raise it?
Yeah, Gary, they've asked for an extra 60K.
Yep.
Can you just explain the situation and why we wouldn't just say another 20 tribute to the wonderful work that they do?
Sure. So no argument about the wonderful work that they do. Another group that has government funding for the project, the number of people they can deliver to that government funding, and they're asking council to give more funding for more people. And at the moment, it doesn't line up. They're still able to deliver. It's a little bit of, they just have to cut the cloth to the number they've got, like a lot of organisations. I realise that it's got to you as councillors really early. And so you've had a bit of time to think about it, which is good. Yeah, I mean, that's what the recommendation was based on, was if we had it, they could extend a government contract further with council money. At Metro, we just didn't have it. But you are, again, the recommendation.
Let's clarify in the funding stream that the salary waivers was for 25K last year.
Yes.
But this year, so is it I'm just trying to understand, is it a funding cut? Because in the diagram we've got, it says a new project, so it's basically.
So they're not a new organisation, but this is a new project that they've asked for money for.
Oh, right.
What, do you know what last year's project was?
I think it just went to salaries and operational.
So I'll move that we give them another 15, and I think Jake's gonna second it.
Yeah, and do you know, sorry, what's happening at community board level as well?
They are, I think at Central, there's an application and right, so then it's been done like.
Okay.
So that's coming to us today to the Waipapa board.
So yes.
Yeah, so Jake, so, yeah, okay, so we'll come back to that. You just didn't want to say McClellan. Next.
Tricky. No one did spell it. Got 6 L's.
You just linked
Just
it.
armament and security centre.
Question is, they are now holding events at Peace Bell, so they're basically looking after our World Peace Bell now, and they will survive off next to zero, so I can't.
Okay, do you want to make an amendment now, or do you want to?
I thought they had an office and that, I got laughed at. In a nice way, because
John Slaughter, simply this just, it's quite a cool project, but it just wasn't prioritised higher than other. So, it's like low priority in due to shortage of funds, and it doesn't actually align that strongly to a lot of the strengthening community strategies. I did discuss this with Play for Partnership because it does have some alignment there, but I just couldn't prioritise it.
What's a better way to fund them? I mean, because we're a peace city, right? So what's the best way that they can get funding from council?
Good question.
We can look, I honestly don't know off the cuff.
Because the event they had on the weekend was good, really good, and I just feel like we should be funding them to some
Probably the
degree,
only way.
because we kind of got them to be the guardians of something that we own in our botanic gardens and all the other work that they do.
Can I suggest we should get a report on the Peace City? I think that would be timely. We've had a similar discussion with things like Civic Awards, Peace Awards. Obviously this project, there's obviously been some other stuff that we've done as a council. So I do wonder, like, I'm happy to move to a resolution to give them some funding now, if you got a something in mind. But otherwise, we could get a report back on the Peace City and how we actually.
Yeah.
You should.
Is anyone moving anything or what?
I'll just, even just a token, so 5,000.
I'm happy to second that, so put them in that space.
Can I just go back to Delta? Because they are coming to our board today for 23,000. And I'm just wondering if the amendment we have today of 15,000 was to pass, would it do any good? I mean, have they got a program that 15,000 is going to cover, or is that just extra money for nothing?
Well, what it would do is, so the program they've asked for is around there, bringing the older community together, and it's like a day program. And so it would allow more people to join that. A big
Would
part of
do
it.
something.
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we've done that. Yes.
Come on, before it's like 139. Little from the sorrow.
Well, I mean,
Waiting patiently.
well, I just want to put an amendment up, really. Like, I mean, I understand why. I mean,
Just do the number.
Let's do it.
yeah,
I'm seconding.
40K.
Yeah.
40.
Do we want to get some staff advice on that?
Yeah.
Not sure if you do. So this was a late application that came in. When we spoke to the group, they had chosen not to apply, but they put in a late application. We just saw this as this was money that was going to sit as a fundraiser, and we had other priorities that was actually going to be practically used over the next 12. But that's basically what it was. But again, it's a recommendation, and you're entitled to.
So when you say, so the questions are then, like, when you say they weren't going to apply, I think they understood that their funding might come from another source. And when that wasn't, so going back to the annual plan process, I want to put an amendment up to get them a grant. I was advised and talked down from that by the chief executive, who advised that it would be better to go to the Strengthening Communities Fund, which they duly did.
Understand that, yes,
And
they
they've
did.
gone to the Strengthening Communities Fund, and they've ended up in the community space when they're really probably an arts and culture thing, I would argue. So maybe they got some advice that steered them in the wrong. Remember, these are volunteers, right? And they're
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, yeah.
trying to navigate their way through council processes and ending up in a pool of money that we're, anyway. So the museum is in a real chicken and egg space at the moment, right? Like it's, you know, it's being turned down by council because council have said, you know, I'm debating. The question is that, you know,
It's no question.
Your point about the.
well, I guess, you know, I mean, I just wanted to challenge some of the things Gary said. That was all really.
I
Okay.
think in the report here, it says what they want to spend the money on, and I think it's perfectly valid. But my question is, would you consider a slightly smaller amount? Because with that, we're up to 161,000.
Or a slightly smaller amounts. Yes,
What would you go?
25. Yeah.
25.
It's reasonable. You know, I would have liked to have gone through the place, you know, they would have done well to get advice to go through the Place Partnerships Fund, which they never got. So, you know.
Okay, do we have a seconder for that?
Mel seconded.
Change now. Okay.
Whatever he said.
Next.
So that takes us to 100k over. That's it.
Next one is Seabrook McKinsey Trust.
What number?
You can ask him.
Here you go.
I guess the question is about how we best navigate the relationship, which has been pointed out with regards to the Mayor's Welfare Fund, because the key is for getting to those families whose children and young people need that support, but they don't know how to navigate that. So is it possible for us to approach Seabrook Mackenzie to start driving that wheel?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
if that is the case, then I'm happy to just let it go, leave it as it is.
So is Josh still here? So we already do that through the Mayor's Welfare Fund. So we have an incredibly close relationship through the Methodist Mission to administer the fund. So Seabrook Mackenzie should be well aware of anyone in need can apply. We've just recently popped up as well. So
I'm just
Okay.
reiterating it. So yeah. I'm going to shut up now.
no.
I will talk to them and guide them through the.
Just so councillors are aware,
Yeah.
at the last Mayor's Welfare Advisory Committee meeting, it's council's advice, it's an advisory committee. With a specific request to bring a report based on what more we can do in this space. And so I will be looking to bring a report possibly to council with some significant recommendations around using the Mayor's Welfare Fund to fund some of these types of activities, just so you're aware.
I just want to acknowledge your work on that too. I think it's important.
Is that it?
Hello, had his hand up.
I've got a question about the Women's Welfare League, Women's Refuge,
Number.
number 16.
Okay, cool. Is there any more on the list that we've previously got?
Yeah.
I just saw it, sorry.
16.
Yeah.
Scout Association of New Zealand.
Scout.
Number 169.
Who's that?
169.
Scouts Association? No one's right. That's all.
Next.
74.
Stream, who's that?
That's mine.
14 minutes, guys.
Previously, because of this is a very positive organisation that creates funds to offset funding. Is there a way for us to change the priority to 3 to something more important? It might be good. Phenomenal.
Yeah, I didn't personally assess this, so apologies for any knowledge gaps. But yeah, I would agree that Upstream, they do great work. They're one of the few organisations working on the sector at that strategic level, rather than at the grassroots. I think the 3 was simply a case of if we had the money, we would absolutely love to fund it, but we weren't able to cut the cloth that way on the day. But it'd be up to elected members.
I'll be able to see how much money they've got in the bank, like, and how they're operating.
I don't have that on hand, so.
because I just like, the concept's really good and they do incredible work. It does seem a bit ironic that they're coming to us for funding without fundraising for other groups that we fund as well. And that's cool, but it just seems a bit like, how can they not sustain themselves if they're trying to fund and sustain other groups?
Yeah, it's definitely a unique model, and I think it might be one of nationally, definitely in Christchurch. And I think while they're still trying to get to that point of sustainability, they are still looking for grant funders to help them find the way.
Okay, did you want to move an amendment? Oh,
Absolutely. 10K amendment.
does anyone want to second that? Upstream?
Upstream.
I could foreshadow for 5 if someone's seconding marks.
You go for 5.
What do you?
Five.
Five again, if you-
Five.
I would go 15, so.
Where are you going? 10.
Come on,
10.
go 7.5.
Foreshadowed. Can I just say that when we've got a question on one of these and we're hearing staff member that did the report isn't here, so we can't get the answer. Is there no way that we can have, that one of you guys can have access to the report? So that the question was, what have they got in the bank? And you don't know, but that's quite an important question.
So can I be clear?
Yes.
Oh, no, wait, so probably.
Yes, let them be clearer.
So staff circulated information.
Thank you.
Well in advance of the meeting today, they asked for questions. When I met with staff at the agenda, they hadn't received a single question from anyone. Now, I know people are really busy. I know it's been a very tough couple of months for councillors with a number of things that we've been focused on, annual plan, contributions, local alcohol policy, the list goes on, and an election as well. So I think in fairness to staff, they have done everything in their power to get the information that we require. Respecting the fact that this is a council meeting and you're entitled to ask questions, but I do think we need to take some responsibility around this process. It's cool, Mel. We've got another day if we need to, and the last thing I want to do is, given the significance of some of these decisions, is rush this process, right? So we have put a spare day aside for a couple of hours if we need to.
Sorry, can I just confirm, the amendment was for 10K? Did that get seconded?
So my understanding is Tyler and Mark agreed on an amendment of 5K. Mark would prefer 10K, but no one.
I agree. Do you want 10?
Thanks, no evidence.
I just get a feel for the room that 10's not going to hit it, so that's why I took 5.
I'll go taking the 5, but there's no here. Thank you. So the last one is back to number 16.
Really quick question. And it's just on the scope. So they applied for 120 and then received a slight amount under that. So I'm just wondering what the reason was since it was priority 1.
So, yeah, again, a new project to us, really important. Comes down to budget again. I was sorry to use it as an excuse, but it's simply what it is.
Yeah.
And
Increase it for next year.
can I increase it?
Yeah, you just put
Next
it in
year
the
she-
budget and we're.
Next year.
Certainly, and not to get off subject from it, but what this has raised to us is we have so many applications.
Yeah.
We need to relook at criteria to bring you less applications for more defined. And we'll be asking the new council to give us some direction on
I agree. Yeah.
Okay.
it, because it's really difficult.
Thanks, Gary. That's all I need. There's a lot of stats at the moment in light of domestic violence cases in the city, and I think we've got an obligation for our city's people. I would like to look at some way of giving them more than 20. I'm not sure what the number is with council if they feel comfortable with anything.
Can I just raise, like, I hear what you're saying and I totally agree. If you look in the ones that we're declining, there's a number in there that are working in this family violence space as well, including like Banana.
Yep.
So yeah, it is actually quite tricky because what I'm struggling with is how can some get funded, how come others don't?
Yep.
And giving increase over the stuff. We've already got, I think, $160,000 of extra funding amendments to deal with.
A little bit less.
Sorry.
115, yeah. Oh.
So, yeah, I hear what you're saying. I think it's always tricky, like what's government responsibility, what's our responsibility, and if there's a gap, who picks it up, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna get a report to do with homelessness coming to council 3rd of September, as I understand it. Hopefully there'll be some good information in there about the different types of interventions that we're looking at.
So you're asking them to leave it.
So I personally, I would support leaving it as it is.
Okay,
Sorry, that was a bit of debate. Anyway, so we've got a list of how many minutes? 12?
I've got some recommendations. That includes cuts, because I'm not going to try and ask for the world, so.
Cool. So look,
We've just been through them all.
we're not gonna get through this today. I just want to make that.
No, these are my amendments.
We will have to come back, like, there's no way we can get through all those amendments. So we've got a date set, I think it's the 28th of August.
Yes, I think so, but I'll confirm.
Okay.
So Tyler's got amendments that I thought that's what we were doing now. So do we want to hear those?
So
We've got
let-
time?
So in terms of today, I think the best part of the process would actually, for the rest of the day, the best process to go through now would be to get all the amendments in front of staff. So that staff can be really clear. When we come back, we're really clear, we've got all the amendments on the table. And we just can go through it. Does that sound good for people? Staff, yeah.
Yeah, so just for a very brief summary, we have allowed for a remainder of $7,949. Based on the earlier discussions today, council has an additional $312,500 set aside in the discretionary response fund. If you were to spend beyond the $7,949, that would then reduce the total amount that you have available to distribute throughout the year as part of the discretionary response.
But it's certainly an option for you.
So let's just go around and get the amendments that we haven't already got. So staff will have a list of amendments today.
Yeah, do you want me to read through the ones we have?
We could do, or do you want to take a break and let individual councillors go and talk to staff about what their amendments are? So they can-
We've got amendments. That's it for Tyler's.
Yeah.
We'll just get Tyler's and then we'll just adjourn.
I created the amendments based off of the number that we had before us, hence why they're live instead of actually recommended prior to this.
Sure. So do you wanna go through your amendments now then?
Yeah.
And all I'm asking is, would people prefer Tyler does that with staff? Then we get all the amendments circulated at once, so you can see everything? Or do you wanna just go through
How
and see
many
if
are
he's got
there?
a seconder for the amendments now?
It's 4 cuts and 4 additions.
Okay, why don't we go through now and see if you've got a seconder for your amendments?
Yep, so should I make it easier for the council to recommend the cuts first?
Sure, go for it.
Being brave here, guys, because I'm a community guy. But we've got the Food Resilience Network cut $2,000. Sorry, reduced $2,000, not cut.
Ron? Food Resilience Network, yep, next one.
Sorry.
No. No, no.
Sorry, that's cool. I'm just throwing them out.
Next one.
KCB, Keep Christchurch Beautiful, 2.5K.
That's a cut.
Reduce.
Yeah. Okay. Three.
Does that have a second?
You may
Oh, sorry, no.
And Brave Me, I'm moving up one to my award.
give them
Student Volunteer Army, 2.5K.
number.
Numbers for these ones, sorry.
The Queen Collins.
It's for the awards and things like that.
83. Does that have a second?
2.5.
So what do you want to cut it?
Anyone willing to second that one?
And I know it's not easy cutting things, but we've got to find ways to backfill if we want to get some things over the line, so being pragmatic.
Yeah, okay.
No seconder. Yeah.
Cool. And then reducing Accor 2.5. If staff have been brave enough, staff have been brave enough declining and cutting where they need to, cutting cloth, then it should also be up to us as elected members to have the bravery to do the same.
There, you've
Sorry.
already moved
So-
that.
Oh, we've got that one.
Yeah, got that one?
The Argu, Te Tahi Learning Centre.
Yeah. So then we also have additions,
So sorry, just to be clear on ARCO, how much are you reducing that by?
2.5K.
That's different than the one you. The other one was number 24, what's this one number?
Yeah, previously, you wanted to reduce ARCO by 5 and swap it with, the kind.
Oh, yeah, sorry, no, it's my fault. Reduce it by 5.
So that's got a mover and a seconder.
Correct.
Yep.
So that's done, so
Yep.
take that out.
So I was gonna suggest that one goes down to 10.
That's a foreshadowed motion. when it comes
Foreshadow.
up.
Okay.
So that's left with one cut, which is KCB. The other one,
Reduction.
Betsy can hear.
Reduction of deputy mayor.
Sorry. Reduction, yep.
And adding, we've got tangata moana there, number 86.
So staff have already got that one.
Yeah, pretty sure we read that, right?
20,000.
5K addition for tangata moana trust,
20,000.
plus 5, sorry.
Bear with me 1 second.
Seconder,
Yeah, I seconded that. Yep.
Te Tahi Youth Board number 87, addition of 5K,
to 15.
Yeah, and I seconded
to
that.
15.
Got that one.
And Income Yani, I've recommended an addition of 5K for them.
And
That's number 19. We just can review that.
I think we got
Speaking. Yep, 25, yep. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Just got a question.
Yeah, Mark.
Just thinking about KCB, is there any way we can look to link them up with the waste people inside our organisation to?
They used to be funded from the waste
Yeah.
stream and it was from the, yeah, I think that
Try and get them out of this
it went
process,
into
get them back.
transport, then it went into transport, and then it's just on its own from strengthening communities. But we should look at that next term.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
think there should be a line on it.
Would you like that to put up as a line item possible? I'm just noting that, yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So there are a few others, non financial. So I just wanted to know the provision around stack pack. Because I am concerned that if we make this decision, coming back to the next time, then we can get some greater clarity around that.
So can we get some wording for
Yeah.
SPAC pack?
Yeah.
Very similar to what I just gave you with the brown.
Yeah, and then the other one was just the ferry meet as well, so just a signal to councillors, the recommendation is not to fund ferry meet as part of this grant. But I do want to have some recommendations that we continue to do some work to try and find ways to support ferry meet. So just
There is ongoing work happening.
cool, yeah, great.
So we can,
So when it comes,
we can provide.
yeah, so when it comes back to the next final decision, just that's the two things that I just wanted to flag. So
Sorry, that ongoing work is different to a funding application.
that's true, yeah.
Are you wanting?
It'll be a noting provision, basically, recognise what's happening in that space.
Set worded for the
Yeah,
next meeting.
I just want to make councillors aware of that. Cool. Okay, are there any other amendments? Right, so we've got one. Yeah. So we'll adjourn the meeting, and we'll come back on 28. I'll talk to staff if there's a time that we can do it sooner, possibly a Tuesday briefing or something. I don't know, we'll talk anyway and see, because if we can do it sooner while it's fresh in people's heads, I
Yeah.
think that would be good.
Probably unlikely, but we've got to go through the full advertising. We've got to advertise the
It's an
meeting.
adjournment.
No, we're just adjourning though.
That's fine.
Adjourning, so we're okay.
Has it already been notified?
Because we're adjourning, we don't need to re-advertise.
Yeah, just to let you know. the
Tell me
28th
who's coming to this.
The LC hearing.
So,
So
I
it
mean,
might, yeah,
how long do you think, I think we're gonna do the rest of it in under.
It'd be good to have a committee here.
We allow 2 hours, because I don't want to get into this position. We're all looking at our watches, because it's disrespectful of the staff, but also disrespectful to organisations who apply.
we'll adjourn now. I just want to thank staff, like, as I said, you've tried really hard to make this as good a process as can be for us. And yeah, it's always challenging when there's lots of programs and organisations that want funding and we need to work through it. And, yeah, I just want to acknowledge the effort that you guys have put in, make it easier.
And also, I think the way the information has been presented has been.
Yeah. The deputy mayor just wanted to also thank you. Hang on.
Guys, wait. Colleagues, guys, can we just,
Tim's gonna do his principal master.
can we just,
I thought it was
2 seconds at the end, a bit of respect.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
we just wanted to acknowledge staff because we've got lots of information, but I know we're just really grateful how hard we're trying to make it easy for us to be able to access the information individually. I'll just give you one very cool thing, is on one of the matrix, or the matrices, you have marked each of the organizations, so you can just click on it straight away and go to that organization. So just simple things like that,
Yeah.
that make it easier for us to do our job. So just wanted to acknowledge the work. that
Really,
you've put in.
really easy.
All right.
Thank you. Thanks, Yanni. Well done.
Thank you.